I also told Lauren before we spoke that the hardest job is being first, too. So can we have another round of applause for Lauren? I'm Sarah Carlson, and I work for Channel 3 News. And I told my story a lot, but not often after watching a video like that and hearing a mom like that. One of the first things I say a lot is that I'm one of the lucky ones. I've had epilepsy about 3 years now, but I'm one of the lucky ones because I'm functioning and I'm working. And I also consider myself lucky because it's me and not one of my children. I do feel blessed. This has been an awfully difficult journey, but there's something about it that has been a blessing. And I'm figuring that out as I go. I'm certain that I'm single because I have epilepsy, and I'm certain that I have kept the people who love me awake at night because of it. But I also like to believe that it's groups like this and stories that you'll hear that can make a huge difference. I was, no joke, made fun of by the group of girlfriends I grew up with near Chicago for not ever having anything go wrong. And it was just about 3 years ago that I was doing a morning news gig, and likely because of those strange hours, I started having strange feelings. And I thought it was because I wasn't sleeping well, and I had a new baby, and just tough times. And it was shortly after that that I was diagnosed with epilepsy. They were simple partial seizures, which is also great news in the world of epilepsy. So I could function. However, I quickly learned that medication is probably the toughest part about this journey. And that's the reason we're here, is to save lives, and for those who have those lives, to make them functional and to make them real. Because sometimes that medication is so challenging. We had a very hard time finding the one that would work for me, so I continued to have lots of simple partial seizures on television. I learned to practice when I wasn't on TV. If I felt one coming, I would look for something to read and start reading it out loud, just like something on this computer. Click to add notes. I could just say it, and I knew if I can say that now while I'm having one of these little seizures, I can do it on the news. And I would do it, and at the end, I'd reach over and go, did that just make sense? And it would. Unfortunately, though, a couple of months later, I had a grand mal live on television. And luckily, it wasn't while I was on camera. I fell, and everyone handled themselves very professionally and gracefully, and I survived. And my kids don't know that I'm sick. They do know that, I am an emotional roller coaster, and that's because of epilepsy, that I can be hard to be a friend with, or a parent probably. But again, I am one of the lucky ones. I, just about a year ago, gosh, it was more like a year and a half ago, finally got word from a neurologist that I needed to stop waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and look deeper into why I'm having these seizures, because we couldn't figure out the why. Oftentimes it's a head injury. At the stage in life I was at, it just didn't seem to make sense. So I did some overnight video monitoring, EEG, and they determined that there was some sort of a mass. And we scheduled brain surgery for last September 20th. I believe today's the 22nd. So I just wished a happy 1-year anniversary to my lovely fibrillary astrocytoma. He is no longer in my life. It was a very small tumor, about the size of a fingernail, and luckily, thank God, close to my skull, in the left temporal lobe. And they removed it last September 20th. The recovery was a lot easier than I would expect. The whole thing, brain surgery, sounds awfully scary, but it was a lot easier than I would have expected it to be. And for a couple of months after that, I had no seizures, and I thought, okay, all done. Not that I would be done with the cause, but personally, again, I'm so lucky, and I don't need to deal with this anymore. And it didn't take much for them to creep back up on me. In fact, I took a job anchoring evening news and sleeping a normal schedule and living a much more normal life, and had another seizure on TV. This one, even though the seizure wasn't as severe, I thought I could get away with that whole, I'm reading something and I have no idea what's happening. but it didn't work. And if you Google my name, and I'm not ashamed of it or embarrassed by it at all, but if you do Google my name, one of the first things that pops up is the video of me having a seizure that somebody I think was taping from their phone. And it's on, YouTube. I actually encourage people to watch it because it just goes to show that even the lucky ones, you never know what's going to happen next. Right now, I have a new neurologist who you get to hear from tonight, Dr. Tom Satula, who I turned to this summer. I've had some more bumps in the road. They got rid of the tumor. We've done MRIs. They're not spotting it anymore. I feel blessed every day. I pray every day that that thing doesn't come back to get me. And slowly, over time, medication has worked. And I am more nervous talking to this crowd about my health problems than I am any night on TV news because I worry. I do. I do lose sleep over if and when it might happen again. I'm alone in my house with two beautiful, healthy kiddos, but I don't want them to lose me. And so I worry about it. It's happened in the middle of the night before in my life, and it's happened when I'm going, hey, things are looking up. But right now, things are looking up, and I'm so blessed and so happy to say that I haven't had a seizure in a long time. I think that Keppra, while it's helping solve my problems, is also making me want to cry all the time, but at least for now, it's made this journey a little bit easier to stand. But I thank you all for being here. And please tell more people about seizures, and particularly what Eileen had to share, some of those very basic facts, and listening to other speakers whose lives are so much harder to lead than mine because of what's happened to them. So thank you so much for being here.